Who should ask for a tarot card reading? See, the first thing is, if you have made up your mind about how to do something or whether to go forward with something, then you totally should. There is no question of then taking a tarot card reading, because this universe rewards the willpower and the effort. Only thing is, there are certain things that are placed in your favor and then certain things are not. If you took a tarot card reading despite your willpower to move full force ahead or full steam ahead, if you know tarot cards are suggesting a no or a course correction or a certain delay, it just helps you to make that win more pleasant. Also, it's not easy to just spend money on something and then not have anything come out of that money. Maybe it is a business plan. Maybe some of you have a thought about starting a business. Maybe you want to start a shop. Some of you want to start a hotel. Maybe you want to start some high investment project. It is always good to follow your dreams, and you should follow and make a learning through trial and error. But some of us can't afford, or some people cannot afford to fail, or they're just too big money at stake. So it's good to take an opinion or a suggestion from tarot card how or what to follow through out of maybe two three business plans or business ideas that you have. Some of us are naturally bent towards a certain interest or studies. Maybe if you want to do a further follow on study or follow a course or do some studies or maybe take a degree furthermore and spend so many years, and you have to choose an elective, and you're divided and you have maybe two subjects that you're equally passionate about, it's a good idea to ask tarot or take a reading on which one to go ahead with. But if you have already made up your mind that this is what I want to follow up and go ahead and do studies with, then you totally should. Only if you're not sure or the two options look very well equally placed and you are confused and you're not sure which elective or which program to go ahead with. Some of us invest a lot of money, or some people will invest a lot of money to go overseas and settle overseas. Problem happens if it doesn't work out. So tarot can help you with movement also, and not just overseas. Maybe you want to move to a different state, maybe you want to book a house, and maybe you have two three properties lined up and you're about to finalize it. It's good to just take an opinion from tarot. Not every tarot card is on the same pace or same level. There are tarot card readers with differing abilities, and some will never give you a concrete answer and are probably just reading or giving you a very generalistic answer to everything. To each their own. I don't have any comments on them, but tarot is very accurate, or it can set you on a certain field or a path and how it sees things for you, how they land up in the future. Some of us want to get medically treated, and you have a choice to get treated maybe in this hospital or that hospital, or take advice from this doctor or that doctor. Tarot can pick the doctor for you or pick the hospital for you. So when you're writing to me for a tarot card reading, you can pretty much ask me any question. But remember, end of the day, you should have a more valid reason to go with that choice than just a simple because your reading said so, because the tarot card suggested so. If you believe you want to follow a certain chosen path, and just for a suggestion or guidance, you have asked me a question whether you should go ahead or not, don't just stop because tarot is saying it. Have your reason why you're stopping or delaying or pushing even more harder, or going full steam ahead with full intensity. So your own reason is more important than just what the tarot card is saying. I do a lot of meditation in a day. I do meditation of more than 4 5 hours. It's a it's a lot of time doing meditation, and that builds a certain ability of how I see things, of how I'm getting gifted in my studies, esoteric studies with tarot, and a lot of psychic work. Tarot can also predict time. So if you are watching this video and you're also a tarot card reader, I would suggest that you should, if you are very young, maybe you're just in your 20s, early 20s, then you shouldn't be doing full time tarot. You should have a job to go to. The reason is your own depth of understanding tarot will develop when you will deal with a lot of people and situations, and you will have those decisions to make, quick decisions to make, very important decisions to make. When people will speak to you in a certain way, you will know how and what the person may have said. When a tarot card reader, herself or himself, does not have much experience of having dealt with the world, they can't really suggest much depth and understanding of how your question is posed and what they understand or not understand. So it's very important as a tarot card reader that you're not just doing tarot cards, you have a job which you go to. This is just my suggestion to people who are young and are doing tarot card readings. So today I'm going to talk about is tarot and time. So for some of you this will also be like a tarot tutorial. There is a lot of discussion on internet of how to gauge time with tarot. So there are four suites in tarot cards. One is the cups, pentacles, the wand, and the swords. The discussion is which suit refers to days, which suit refers to weeks, which suit refers to months, and which one is for the year. At this point, if you want to pause the video and with your own understanding, you want to arrive at an understanding or arrive at an answer which is for the days, which is for the weeks, which is for the months, and which is for the years, you should start to do it now. So which tarot suits refers to which timeline? See, in nature, trees will start to grow on its own. Some bushes will start to grow on its own. Some weeds, unwanted plants will start to grow on their own. So the coins don't start to grow on their own, neither does a sword nor does a cup. But the trees, plants, bushes start to grow on their own. So the fastest energy to manifest in this universe is the wands, and that refers to the shortest timeline in tarot. So wands stand for days. So if someone says, could you tell us when will my cat come back, or my dog has gone missing, when would my dog come back, or when is something likely to happen, the most simple reading you can do is just shuffle the cards and take out a card. And let's say you get the answer or a card as a wand card. The answer is soon enough, or within few days. That is the answer. So wands are the fastest moving energy in tarot because it gets manifested and starts to grow on its own. What would happen next? Which is the next tarot guidance for a timeline? Here I will like to share one my travel experience. Once I was traveling and I went to a museum, and in that museum this lady had collected fossil wood, and that fossil wood was sometimes even 1,000 years old. It's a great collection of wood she had, and it's her own museum. She owns that museum, and which will now become maybe something big and is government supported. So I can give you the details of that museum, but it's more about talking about timelines and understanding the energy in the universe. So as I'm looking at all the wood, the fossil wood, she gave me one metal or a stick or a ladle, and she said, why don't you hit on this wood with this stick? And when I hit that wood with the stick, which was made of metal, I heard a very loud clang sound. See, if you hit anything with wood, it doesn't give you a clang sound because it's wood. I said, how is it possible? How is it possible? It's making a sound like a metal. And that is when she said, when the fossil wood has stayed or lasted this long, it starts to become metal. So after wands comes the cups, swords, or the pentacles. But which one comes first out of the three? Because all three are made of metal. Cup is made of metal, swords are made of metal, and the coins or pentacles are also made of metal. So you see, we go back to history that if you only were living or camping in a forest and you see a metal, what would you use that metal for first? Or what would you carve that metal for? You will carve or chisel that metal, or you will do whatever, bend or do whatever with that metal to first make a sword, because you need to, because you're going to worry about shelter, You are going to worry about where to camp. So you're going to go to the sword first, or a knife first, or something to chop the wood first. So the fossil wood that becomes metal will get used to make the swords first. So the swords come second in the timeline in tarot, and swords represent the weak. So if someone said the same question, when would possibly my cat come back, my dog come back, it's gone missing, or when will I receive this letter? The simplest reading you can do is you can shuffle the cards and take out a card, and let's say it is a sword card, then it will just mean it is going to take few weeks or certain number of weeks. I will come down to accuracy also, but I will not. So when I do predicting time, it's very accurate. I don't share that here. I just tell you how the timeline works in tarot. The reason I don't share how to accurately gauge time with tarot is because I'm not sure if many people are ready to start to predict time with tarot. I just want to set a base for you to have a understanding. So now you have built a sword from the metal and you have built a shelter for yourself. What would you do next with now so much more metal that you have available, and it is a fossil wood which is turned into metal? Of course you're going to start to make utensils. It's easier because you're going to start cooking. Some would say no, but maybe somebody will make coins first. We need to go back in history. The earliest of coins came much later, and a system of barter existed, which means people exchange rice for clothes or shoes or leather, and then somebody exchanged a basket for something, maybe a fish. So the earliest of trade happened with barter, not with coins. Coins came much later. So after swords come the cups, which is your utensils, and coins come way later and come the last in the timeline, which means if pentacles show up, it means it is going to take a long time, or it represents years. Let's talk about cups. So cups represent months. So when you're doing a tarot reading, the easiest way to take a guidance on timeline is you take out the cards, and let us say you get a guidance as three of cups, two of yeah, three of cups, two of swords, and four of wands. The simple calculation is three of cups represents months. Cups represent months, so three of cups becomes 3 months. Two of swords represent weeks, so two of swords become 2 of weeks, 2 weeks. And four of wands means wands are days, so four of wands is 4 days. So you have an answer: 3 days, 3 months, 2 weeks and 4 days. So roughly you have arrived at an answer as 3.5 months. If somebody says when, the question is when, and you get these three cards, the answer you will read as is 3.5 months. But I give you the answer as tarot has no answer. It is not delivering a timeline. So I don't tell you why, even though the three cards are there, and as I've suggested, they are referring to a certain timeline. Because of one card from Three of Cups, Two of Swords, and Four of Wands, because of one of the cards in these three cards, tarot is actually refused to give the time. If you can guess which that card is, which is saying no answer, or there is a blockage, and therefore tarot cannot give the answer, then you should mention which card it is from the three cards. Then I come to pentacles. Pentacles are coins, and coins represent years. One pentacle to me represents 6 months and not 1 year. Why does it represent 6 months and not a year? Because since pentacles means the next timeline, why have I not taken pentacle as 1 year, and why have I taken one pentacle as a 6 month unit? See, the reason for that is at point 6 mathematically you can actually write something as 1. If something is point 0.7, I can actually write it as 1. So 1.8 can be written as 2, and 1.6 can also be written as 2. So in this universe, at point 6 or in 6 months, a very big energy changes. So everybody who's putting in effort at something, you should definitely, at the most minimum, give 6 months for some change to happen. It can definitely happen faster, but that is the unit this universe works with. That is why the one pentacle energy is 6 months and not 1 year. So two pentacles is 1 year and one pentacle is 6 months. So now it's very easy for you to calculate. There are a lot of pros and cons. There are a lot of cards that stop timeline to be read. I don't discuss that here, but I give you a certain base to build on, to start to think about time and how deeply rewarding tarot is. I would do more tarot tutorials where I will talk about cards, do's and don'ts, and this is the first in line video.